You can't hide from me. No matter what you do, I'm gonna find you.
Welcome back to They Call Me Uncle. So where did Cousin Eerie come from? Well, Cousin Eerie, of course, came from Eerie Magazine, published by Warren, starting in 1965. Now, issue number 1, I'm going to tell you a story, allegedly, because I've never verified it. Issue number 1 is what they call an ash can issue. And I'm showing it to you right now. It's got a black and white cover. I never saw one of these in my whole collecting career. Did I ever see one of these in person? And this is actually the most valuable Warren published magazine because of how rare it is. Now, the story I was told by a guy, we'll just call him Pete. And none of you know Pete. I do. Or I did. I hope Pete's still around. So what Pete told me was that Warren Publishing wanted to get to copyright or whatever, keep the name Eerie to go along with creepy and eerie. And so they quickly published this magazine. Jack Davis, it said, did the cover, and it was just black and white, and they printed it. They did a small print run, which is why it's rare. But then the place that printed it was either went bankrupt or sold. And so the story is that they didn't get rid of the printing presses or the plates. They took a hammer and they smacked one of the pages with this claw hammer that left a grid pattern. And the story is that if you see one of these, that somewhere in the issue there is like a roof or an overhang, and if it has this weird pattern on it, you have a bootleg version of Eerie number 1. It's a good story. I don't know if it's true, but anytime Pete told me a story and I did look into it, it was true. So I believe it. So anyway, never did I even see one, let alone, I have no idea how much they go for, but that's the story of Eerie number 1. Now, Eerie followed the same pattern as creepy, horror anthologies, and they also used the same formula that made creepy successful. What you're looking at here is he did 11. Frank Frazetta did 11 of the covers. I put 2 up there because that's as close to number 1 as I got. And that's a cool cover, the Sorcerer. I put number 7 up there. When Carter, Mason, and I were at Darkness Con recently, a guy asked me, out of these magazines, which one invokes Cthulhu or H.P. Lovecraft? And then the guy took off, and I had to think about it. And if I was going to pick one, I would pick Eerie number 7, the Sea Witch. There's some tentacles under there. And now looking at it, maybe there's an eye in there. And so for me, that invokes kind of the H.P. Lovecraft, Cthulhu-ish type stuff. It's called The Witch's Tide is the story. But if that guy would have come back at Darkness Con, I'd have sold him that in a heartbeat. So Frazetta, he did some covers. Then Neal Adams, he, I mentioned before with Creepy, Neal Adams didn't do the covers, but he did some interior art and stories that are really good. I put Eerie number 23 up there because it not only has a really good Frank Frazetta painting, but it also had Neal Adams work in that interior also. And again, they had all those Spanish artists. They had artists from all over. And so you get a lot of good artwork. Eerie, I felt like they experimented a little more. The art's a lot more varied in the covers and the artists who were doing covers. But the other thing they did on Eerie that I think was kind of an experiment. So I'm taking you over here to, you can see that Cousin Eerie was in every issue, but they tried to establish kind of a series. So Wrightston Dane, the one I'm highlighting here, he was called the Rook. And the Rook was a time-traveling, kind of like a horror sci-fi Doctor Who, but without kind of the goofiness. And you can see here, and this is really cool, this is the Comic Vine website. If you click on a character, you can see their first appearance. You click on that, it takes you right to it. And so in issue 23, they did Rook, and then later, Rook got his own series. He is one of the few characters, he might be the only one who got a spin-off series of his own. And so in here, they're calling him Wrightston Dane, but I knew him as Rook. They also had Dax, who was kind of a blonde version of Conan, would be the easiest way to put it. And you can see down here, he showed up 15 times in Eerie. And so Dax was one. On here, they're calling him Demon Hunter, but Demon Hunter was kind of a sci-fi horror character. I don't know. It looks like he appeared mostly in Eerie, 11 issues of Eerie, and these others are reprints. And so these characters didn't make it very far. They didn't really, make it into pop culture the way, the only character who really skyrocketed out of these was Vampirella. Exterminator 1, the artwork, the Ken Kelly artwork on the covers and the interior artwork was kind of fun. It was a robot hitman. Later, you would see Death's Head is a robot hitman. Probably unrelated, but there's influences hiding in there. And you can see through here that there were a number of characters that got reoccurring appearances. And I only really saw that in Eerie. And Eerie, I felt like was a little more experimental and but followed the same things that made Warren Publishing and Warren Magazines popular with me anyway. Like I said, I did manage to collect all of the Eerie's except number 1. Never saw it. Definitely couldn't afford it today. Now, I'm telling you about these because we're putting them up on our website. I'm showing you now, this is excaliburstrategies.net. And on this website, if you're interested in the Eerie's or really any Warren, go down to here. I'm showing you how to get there. And, you just scroll down and there's Eerie. I do have the cover for number 1, but when you go in here, you will see that it's got a line through it, meaning there's no inventory. I did highlight which ones had Frazetta covers, and sometimes that helps explain the pricing and stuff like that. But anyway, all the Eerie's are in there. I'm just curious to see. So Eerie did have yearbooks. Comic books tend to have specials and annuals. Eerie had 3 yearbooks. The yearbooks tended to be reprints. Like this one says best stories. They kind of did best ofs at the end of the year. Once in a while they do new stuff. And so you can go out to our website and find the all the Eerie's that I have, and you can buy them there, or I'm adding new inventory daily. There's 40,000 magazines, collectibles, all kinds of stuff down here. I put the magazines in first, and that's why we're talking about those first. But everything's available. So if you want, just click on contact, fill out the information, which is only used to communicate with you, won't be sold to anybody, won't be leaked, stoled. So anyway, you can send me your wish list, your want list. I check it at least every other day. Or you can just send an email to excaliburstrategies@outlook.com. But keep in mind, the website is excaliburstrategies.net, not .com. I don't have .com, but I have .net. And so either way, if there's something you're interested in collecting, I've kind of got to stop. I've stopped collecting other than prints, and now I'm trying to sell off everything and clean out the basement. So as always, thanks for hanging out with us, spend a little time. Thanks for watching. And like Carter says, like and subscribe.
Matt Berry.
Yeah, I'm gonna Matt Berry it up.
Go for it.
How did you get down here? You get the hell out of here before I show you my stuff.